Joining us now from Hartford, Connecticut, the author of the article Out of the Hartford Current is Dan Haar. Dan, welcome to Stay Tuned. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much. Great to be in St. Louis virtually.
Well, it's more than virtually good to have you. What can St. Louis learn from Hartford? Why are you telling us that we should not build this stadium in the hopes of maintaining our status as an NFL city?
Well, there are two issues going on. There seem to be two camps in this. One camp says we need to build this stadium at all costs because we need to remain an NFL stadium, and downtown is a great place to put it. And the other camp says don't build a stadium, it's a bad thing. I'm in the camp that says you guys should have a football team there with a stadium. Downtown is the wrong place to put it. Because if stadiums generate economic activity, and there's a great debate about whether they do, as you well know, they certainly do not help downtowns being open 8 to 10 games a year, depending on whether you count the preseason as a game. And of course, there's always a hope, even in St. Louis, for a playoff game.
Who knows what the next team will be? They might be better than the one we've got.
Well, that's right.
But you're speaking from a little bit of a personal experience in Hartford. Can you give us the analogy you're making there?
Hartford is a city that was a once great national major city in the 19th century. We're still a pretty good, second or third tier city in terms of size. We're a little bit less than half the size of the market in St. Louis. Unfortunately for Hartford, in the late 50s and 60s, we were cursed with money. Hartford was a politically powerful and rich place. It's still rich. And we had money to tear down the heart of the city, including the riverfront. We had money to build right along the river, which was expensive but stupid. And we now have no access to the riverfront, and most importantly, no human-scale development along the river on which a lot of cities have rebuilt in the age of this sort of millennial generation. And so I'm suggesting that St. Louis is someday, I understand there's not a lot of hue and cry right now for that property up there just north of Laclede's Landing, but there will be someday, and that's going to be part of a broad stretch from south of the Arch all the way to the Stan Musial. That's going to be the renaissance of St. Louis, if it needs one. You guys are well ahead of us already.
So there's a physical cost you're saying that money can't replace.
Yes, that's exactly right. Now, when you look at the building that's there, the old Power and Light building, I understand that's going to be saved, but putting something in the middle of all that, and I'm not even talking about the cost of $300 million of preparing the site, which is by Peacock and Blitz's own report. That's the cost, $325 million. I'm not even saying, hey, that's too much to spend. I'm saying exactly what you said. The physical proximity of those old industrial human scale buildings that look like blight today are someday a treasure. Hartford wishes we had ours back. We tore down 8 to 16, depending on how you count it, city blocks in the 50s and 60s. If we had those back, we could become a much more vibrant metropolitan area today, built on that.
Is there something you've done right that you would like us to know?
Well, there's a lot of things that Hartford did right. I think the convention center down there by the river has been helpful. I think putting the football stadium, as you may know, we were duped into offering Robert Kraft, and I'm not a fan of the Patriots for partly that reason. Of course, I'm also from New York. We were duped into offering a stadium to him for the full cost of the stadium in 1998, and he sort of played Connecticut and then pulled out of town. What we did that was smart was build a 40,000-seat college football stadium for the University of Connecticut, which went up to the highest Division I level across the river. You can't really do that because you're dealing with two different states. Really, East St. Louis, Illinois would be a great place for a stadium, but it's not one region, it's two states, and I know there's that problem. That's one thing we did that was smart.